How many times does Storm Coddle need to be let through and dominate until teams get rid of it? They've got one more chance to do it. Again, these are heroes. Like, Monkey King wants to stand there, pop down his Wukongs and fight. Great. Vici have taken that away. Medusa wants to stand there and fight. And then if they run at you, you just use Stone Gaze and you keep doing it. Or you run away outside of the Blood Riot and then try and get a reposition going for the Pangolier and then fight again. The Anti-Mage, he kind of avoids fights, so that makes sense for the ban as well. So I don't mind Vici's bans. And of course, they're banning out the Ursa themselves. They're picking a Juggernaut, one of the first few picks of that. Still feel like it's a good Storm game. I mean, he's just going to be able to get in onto the Disruptor and quickly burst him down. Unless he's got incredibly fast fingers, you're probably not going to be able to get off the Static Storm before you get the Electric Vortex. You just need to shift to it, right? And it's basically instant.
I feel like they might go Storm plus their position 5 hit just to keep the Bloodseeker flex available. So sure. I'm just trying to think of what that position 5 could be.
Vici Gaming's turn to pick.
They go Void instead. Okay. It's they don't have the greatest unlock anyway, so it's not the worst. It can still play around with the Keeper of the Light Chakra as well. Blood Rage is great with him. Got a way to disjoint the Omni Slash, which I don't hate, but
and deal damage to Jug even when he's spinning, right?
Yeah, that is true. Yep.
Astral Step still pierces the immunity, so that's always going to be nice, especially with the buff up to it.
My only concern is that Vici now has to pick a stun here, or Team MagMa might answer with a Storm, and that is a very... Bloodseeker, you don't care about that because of the Rupture. Storm can just zip away and won't take any damage. Coddle has no control, and the matchup is Void Spirits. That's...
Bane, okay.
I don't know if that will block it. They still go TA. Okay, I mean...
I liked the Grim because, you know, spin TP can't happen if you get the leash onto him. It also means if you went the Storm Spirit and he zipped in super deep, sure, the stun isn't there, but again, if you just ulti him and he's standing near someone else, then, you know, a lot of his effectiveness is reduced, and it's a good setup together with the Bloodseeker. So I didn't mind it. The TA...
It's a good matchup versus Void Spirit, and like I heavily favor Trap's Vision with Disruptor as well. Like it's a very, very good combo to find Glimpse pickoffs.
It is. I don't hate this Bane pick though. Like prior to TA getting the BKB, Enfeeble's going to be really useful against it.
What is it again? I'm trying to remember.
So it just reduces like attack damage as well as regen on that particular unit. So on a hero like TA that just wants to be right-clicking away, it's good against things like Dusa, but Dusa at least has a way to get Manta Style to break out of it, and doesn't really have anything else that's going to be able to allow her to just freely to dispel, basically, until she picks up that BKB. And then hell, even if she does BKB, you just Fiend's Grip it. But I guess the target for Fiend's Grip is probably going to be the Pango.
Vici Gaming's turn to pick.
Right. Luckily, we don't have to watch a Clinks in action. That's always nice. We're looking for the 1 to 3 flex. It looks like MagMa believe it's Puyo's Hero still lost. Anything standing out?
Radiant team pick.
Terrorblade.
Very interesting.
Is that the first Terrorblade that we've seen here?
Yeah,
I know it's been played over in Europe.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen a lot of Terrorblade at all. I actually don't think we've seen a Terrorblade. It's a very good game for it.
High armor, yeah.
Yep, high armor versus the TA.
10 seconds remaining.
First, wait, I'm trying to see what MagMa need. You need.
Remaining.
You've got tower push, high physical damage and Jug TA, so you need magical damage here. Lesh is a capability, which I don't hate a lot, but I don't think
but it's a hero that you need to be running on, right? To chase people down.
Choose your hero.
Okay. I don't hate that.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad. But so Team MagMa, their game plan is counter-initiate. They don't have the greatest pick-off potential. So either, you know, just full vac wall into a Rolling Thunder, into a Static Storm, or... and then obviously TA and Jug blinking in and doing their thing, or have TA kind of sitting on the front lines, or the Juggernaut held with the healing ward standing behind him, and just start sieging down towers. If you go on them, do the exact same thing, but there's less of the element of surprise.
I actually really don't mind the MagMa draft. I think the Darkseer gives you some way to. It's not as much magic damage as I was hoping, but I think it really more enables a position for Pangolier, which I do still think is heavily countered with Rupture and Fiend's Grip. And not even that, actually. Terrorblade can do just so much physical damage from afar that the Rolling Thunder can just get shredded down before he gets in. But I think the early game, he'll have a better time because of the Darkseer to enable him. They've got pretty solid team fight, an easy way to take objectives, take Roshan. You've got nice scouting potential to enable Disruptor to get these pickoffs. Starting fights is very awkward. Like you said previously, it's off the back of counter initiations. So we saw there was issues for Vici in that game 1 where they did lack ways to really get on top of Team MagMa, and it was kind of, we saw the wonkiness come in where it was very difficult for them to get those kills and then transition it to more. So that could be one of the issues with MagMa's lineup, but I don't hate it. I like this. I like this draft more. Yeah.
And the thing as well is in the laning stage, previously Ursa, what did they have again? Was it, did they combo together a Hoodwink with it? On PYW, I think?
Yeah, Bloodseeker and Hoodwink, yeah.
Yeah, so this time around it's a Coddle, which of course, like the spam is going to be there. You're going to have a hard time farming freely, but at least you've got the spin, right? You can dodge out a lot of the damage that they're going to be dishing out super early on, whereas previously it was what Acorn shot into Bushwhack into Bloodright, and Ursa doesn't have the movement to be able to get out of it. At least now you can look to spin, you know, to be able to save yourself a little bit. It's going to mean that they don't have the saves for it, and PYW is going for another cheeky Deep Observer Ward, so at least Bio's been able to scout that one out a little bit there. They would have seen that he's carrying it too. So that's a nice little bonus. Ends up placing it on the other side. I don't think it was spotted, considering it's still nighttime. But he needs to be careful about where he's going to show himself as well.
30 seconds to battle.
Let's see. Where's the other ward on die? Oh, they've already placed theirs. Okay. So, I'm going to try and contest the top rune on Vici. I think they scouted out the Jug ward that he placed in the lane. So that should be an easy
D ward.
Now.
They'll see it now that he comes out, if they've got the eyes on him.
They're also going to recognize that this bottom bounty should be pretty free. Wait, me. That's the classic Pangolier with the shield crash, dude. I'm like, hang on, is he actually going to go into 3 heroes? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's... Never mind, you got shield crash, you're pretty tanky, yeah.
Yeah. Not the strongest level 1 either for Vici, as long as he's away from the Coddle. Alright, so standard skill up. They've got a bit of a lane swap going on here, though, with... oh wait, never mind. PYW and Terrorblade are just going super deep. I think they were trying to get some body blocks going to make sure that this wave couldn't shove in. That's the thing. I want to see how they play around this Metamorphosis not being available, which is, I think, why he's chosen to skill the Reflection level 1. Is that they've got so much potential to be able to not necessarily go for kills, but completely bully Poyoyo out of the lane once that Metamorphosis is on cooldown. So try and get as much work done without the meta until you absolutely need to in the later stages when, you know, you've got a few more points into the Ion Shell, or you've also got the Vacuum Surge to be able to chase him down.
Are you expecting Poyoyo to have a pretty free lane here, though, regardless? Like, is it a difficult matchup versus the Darkseer?
I wouldn't call it free by any stretch. I feel like it's going to be a lot harder than what it was previously. So... see how he goes. You can just see here, like, TZY is looking to place himself in there. Poyoyo can't really walk in to contest this. Yes, you've got a lot of armor on this Terrorblade, but you've got a low HP pool. So even though this level 1 Ion Shell might not hurt too much, once he gets to level 3 on the Darkseer, it's going to become a whole lot more difficult.
Meanwhile, the mid matchup, Dos back again on the Templar Assassin. How do we feel like he's going to be able to perform this time versus the Void Spirit compared to the Lina in the last game?
It's going to be a harder task for sure, right? You've got all the weaknesses that the Lina did in not being able to deal damage over time. It's all like big burst instances, but you're a melee hero. You don't have the same ability to just burst him down with the attack speed just from a talent like Fiery Soul. Dust even doing a good job of tanking up some of these Aether Remnants, which Ori's going to try to use to secure some of these range creeps.
The one thing about this matchup is that, you know, if Ori can get level 6, has a lot more valuability to the side lanes with his rotations, whereas the Templar Assassin, you know, we've seen this here quite often, is someone who really puts emphasis on if Ori gets his water rune. Oh, Dust just got it. But yeah, Dust is, and TA in particular, is a hero that puts a lot of emphasis on shoving out the lane and then trying to farm up the jungle. So we'll see. He got a lot of farm in game 1. He's also taking an immense amount of damage right now.
The damage being pumped into him, even with the denies, trying to bully out as much as possible. You can just see, like, even though it's an easier lane down here for buy, it's still tough. You know, you can't freely look to use that spin. Well, he's got the healing ward behind him at least. He wouldn't die to the eliminate here.
My god, it does so much damage.
Blessings.
Does so much damage, actually.
And that's just a level 1 healing ward, so it's not going to put him back to safety.
Might give up first blood up top, although Mion's triggered the aggro of the tower, and now Puyoyo, can he get in range? Yes, sir. First blood picked up. And TZY now, see, I mean, I feel like they need this extra tower damage, and maybe it's not going to matter, actually. Brain Sap, quite the ability for the laning stage with that pure aspect to it.
DY didn't even get the right clicks off during the Nightmare. You can normally get 3 during the first level of the Nightmare, but it was still enough to be able to take it down. Maybe just being mindful of not wanting to take the kill away from Puyoyo. The rotation does come to the top side, so it's going to take away that water rune from Dust. He's still fairly healthy with his bottle completely full.
I like this.
Allows DY to walk straight back to the top side. Why not?
Yeah, we've seen the Void Spirit has been getting picked up a decent amount into some trickier matchups, but it's been enabled on some occasions just because of the supports putting a lot more emphasis on helping out with these early water runes. So it's at least giving Ori an edge to be able to, you know, get out of this laning stage, and he's looking pretty solid at the moment. DY again pressured. They aren't going to drag him back with the vacuum though.
He's doing a great job, though, with the freshly picked up boots of speed. A little bit lucky, but he was able to avoid that gank. More importantly, though, he used the Nightmare on the Pangoli, where he was trying to drag that creep wave into the small camp to get the double value out of it. Didn't let it happen, so it just means that the Pango is going to fall off a little bit, and the Darkseer is not going to be quite as dominant as he usually is in these dual melee lanes.
This Cube of the Light Lane is still continuing to amaze me. Like, how much consistent spam and harass you put out. Like, really, it either forces your support, as Old 11 struggle here, and yeah, they're going to be able to pick it up. Very nicely done. Getting on the board here will be by... what I was going to say is, like, the cuddle either forces your position 5 or your carry to bring out a stupid amount of sustain for the lane, and you really don't want to be putting a lot of your emphasis in early gold to those items. Like, you want your early stats, your early farming, your phase boots, Wraithband, your building into Maelstrom, whatever it's going to be. So see with how much damage that PYW can continue to dish out, like where the resources go from the jug.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
I mean, they're even taking away like stacks that they were good timing there on MagMa to be able to take out Old 11 when PYW was going for that stack, so that's exactly what they need to continue to do. But you're still getting a good amount of value. Like the Coddle, sure, it's only level right now with Mian on the net worth front, but it's going to grow. All that value that you get from, I mean, you can take stacks on your own, but don't undervalue the potential for stacking up for the likes of a Terrorblade. Hasn't done it just yet, realizing how important it is to continuously bully this lane.
Yummy on TP out. One more right click. Oh my god, so close.
Didn't even shield crash beforehand.
Bottom lane again.
PYW.
Chase down. 3 points in the Blade Fury gives you an immense amount of damage output early here for the Juggernaut. And Old 11's still feeling like he can man fight. We brought up his capability on the Bloodseeker in game 1. He was one of the really strongest offlaners that was thriving on the Bloodseeker when that hero was getting played very heavily as a 3, and got the extra +1 now in Ori, but looking like it's a bit too difficult of a task to dive. They also were able to gather the information thanks to the ward.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, again, DY. I think one more right click afterwards. No, in fact, Dust has got enough damage with the level 7, but they're going to jump beneath the tower. The Simulate dodges the Glimpse drag back. Be okay.
Ooh. Still, though, I wasn't expecting TB to have quite this much in this stage of the game, but you can see here the amount of harass that they're able to put in with the Iron Shell now that it's at level 6. Continuing to harass down DY. Will he look to take it away? No, actually just vacuums him back in. Breaking a little bit early with the reflection there, but DY, he should be fine. I mean, that Brain Sap, of course, allows him to consistently stay healthy in the laning stage. As he got more regen coming out to him, wouldn't surprise me to see him do that quite shortly.
Yumyon? It's a whole world of pain. Or he's got another round of the ultimate, so another great rotation from the Void Spirit, and we're seeing the TA just doesn't have this capabilities. Meanwhile, a bot, Odd11 also just getting out of dodge with his TP. I believe the Glimpse was previously loose, so they didn't have an answer to that.
Dodging out the Melt Strike there was Ori. Pause coming through. Dust realizes that the Ancient camp is blocked up. He put his sentry ward right in the middle of the camp, of course, just for maximum vision, guaranteeing that there's not this little nook off to the side that's unable to hit it. But he hasn't spotted quite yet that it's on the low ground. I think Ori walking over his trap led him to want to try and dissuade him, you know, just pulling him back to the lane a little bit. They're not going to mind all that much, though, with PYW, again, soaking up more of that experience. You could just see the difference there with being able to reliably shove out these lanes. Very rare for too many denies to happen into a Keeper of the Light lane as well, right? Because he's already sitting at level 6.
We feel like this laning stage has gone a little bit better from MagMa compared to our previous game.
Yes, because Juggernaut actually has a lane of some sort, which is always a nice little bonus. And, I mean, it's going to depend on what they're able to do here for the TA. Are you lagging a little bit? Oh, never mind. Broken out of it. What? Oh, no. He's getting rid of his sentry ward. He didn't see that it was on the low ground. Oh, no, Dust. And then he's going to think, did I really mess up that stack? I know I'm not a support player, but goddamn. That's a wasted 50 gold, my man.
Ori should be okay. We're gonna have to see this position for Pengli get a lot of farm, because until they get the Blink Dagger, it's gonna be very difficult for them to kill Ori. That or the level 6 from the Disruptor and just dropping that at night time potentially is the avenue to kill Ori.
And then Kaz comes through and says, "You idiot! This is always where a support T wards." And, well, he gets it off.
That's gonna delay the one previous stack, and surprisingly, TA previous game was a little bit higher net worth than what she is at the moment, so maybe off the back of unable to find these early stacks is costing her, but they're not gonna stack it again. Like,
Yeah, especially considering the fact that you've had Ori make 2 rotations now, right? One to the bot side, one to the top side. Dust has been left completely on his own, and despite that, still not pulling ahead on the net worth. He's half a level ahead on experience, but you probably would expect it to be a bit more than that.
And well, meanwhile, take a look at Dyer. Like, Puyo just farmed at least a triple that I saw, and now he's got a quad, I believe. I don't know, man. It's so hard to tell what that is. That looks at least like a quad at the Ancient, so this is the comparison from the lives, and we have continuously been harping on Vici Gaming supports throughout the group stages, and it continues in the playoffs.
Just click over to PYW and just like watch his gold, and it's just gonna like go up by 15, 20 every single time one of these creeps goes down. I mean, that's where all of this passive gold is coming through for these Keeper of the Lights. It just enables you to take it super early on. Yeah,
that's actually something I haven't been top lane of that thought. Odd11. Oh, he's got some reinforcements, and they're beelining it to top. As Ori's going to reveal with an instant jump in and an instant clean off Mion and no messing around. Let's just get on TZY as well. An easy double for Ori. And yeah, I really like the point you were bringing up before as well, because I've been harping on like, hang on, how the hell is the Kipralite always so farmed? And yes, it's because you can clear the safe lane easy or the dead lane at that stage and take a little farm across the map with the Illuminate, but I haven't actually really thought about just the extra gold he's getting from all these consistent stacks that we see the Coddle providing.
With that, it's just going to allow you to buy more null talismans. It means you've got more mana regeneration, so you don't really need to use the chakra magic on yourself. You can just buff up the rest of your team, which means more kills, more objectives. You're doing more damage through the spell amplification portion of it as well, so you can take stacks even faster. You're better in team fights. It's just like this big roll-on effect. Again, like he's just pushing out this lane entirely by himself.
Yeah, cool hero.
Oh. Full damage being popped here by Dust and
Invisibility.
breaking it actually.
They
Radiant's bottom tower
again,
is
like
under
I
attack.
don't. Have you played Bane since the patch? Have you attempted him?
Not since the patch, no.
So I still.
Actually, no, I have once. One game.
How'd the Fiend's Grip feel? Because it still feels
It
like.
felt a little better.
Okay.
It was also kind of cool to have the Nightmare dealing a little bit of damage. So that's actually going to be kind of nice against it's the TA, right? Just another little instance of damage that you're able to get through with a refraction. I still want to see him get that one value point into the Enfeeble, though, when they're looking to take these team fights around the TA. Like, just 1 point for 8 seconds of a 45% damage reduction onto a TA.
Is under attack.
My big issue is that it still feels like this is a hero with a big ultimate that never feels like he gets value out of it. Like, I don't know how you use this in team fights. It's really only for pickoffs, because it really never feels like you're going to get a 6-second channeled Fiend's Grip off as hold that thought as Dust. And it converged on mid. But this is...
Well, this would be nice if he's able to claim out the Pangolier.
Yeah, that's a lot of their team fight early. And again, just... Wait, Kaz? Well, Disruptor's going to join him too. Why not? Let's just get 2 free kills for Poyoyo and lead that into a T1 tower.
Well, sometimes you just don't need the Fiend's Grip when the enemy team supports just run at you.
And...
The only ones that are really able to disrupt your Fiend's Grip are the ones that just ended up dying.
Yep. Well, like, yeah, Glimpse is great. Rolling Thunder. TA will get it to a stage if she's not Fiend's Grip. Oh, they caught out. Now he's perfect. You just use that full Nightmare duration, let the rotations come through, and now you got 6 seconds, and you didn't even need it.
Easy.
Yeah, this is... Vici Gaming just really outmaneuvering the map, doesn't it feel like?
Just taking everything that they could possibly want. I mean, they've lost the top tower, sure, but that's not the value one that you want, especially against the TA. Like, the Roche potential is still there, of course, as the Boink Dagger gets used again by DY to be able to get away after denying the regen rune and partying with the cheese. But, I mean, it's not like you have a weak Roche taking lineup with this TB either. You know, you use the Metamorphosis, you get a victory. You might look to take the top tower, but Roche is a pretty impactful target to be able to go into as well.
And we're currently seeing the issues with MagMa's lineup as well compared to game 1 in regards to like how they come back in this game. They were all off the back of like these arena pickoffs, just getting solo killers and trying to get something out of the map. Now it's a question of like, they don't really have that. Maybe Rolling Thunder, but who are you pairing him up with right now? You know, once Tia has Blink, which she does, then maybe Dust can join Mion, or it feels like then Mion either can also play with the Darkseer, but he really wants to get his Aghanims as on mid lane. They're just going to Nightmare up the Juggernaut, which will allow them to clean Kaz on the backline, and still Mion, he hasn't found an angle into the fight. Finally, he'll charge up the Rolling Thunder, but the lack of damage is continuing to show as Vici Gaming have every hero's number. They'll drag back TZY into the Blood Right setup and PYW. Even on the backline as well, a position where you wouldn't really feel the Coddle would be ever so safe, but with the net worth lead they have, and more and truly the experience lead they have as well, you see the damage not showing.
Old 11 there, his Blood Rights are just so perfect every single time, clipping the very end of the Nightmare. A lot of times, like, how many times do you play into a Bane's, and the difference between the
hang
other
on a second,
there.
Dust? Man,
you got the Fiend's Grip. What? Alright.
I don't know how it got brought down, but regardless, DY, Fiend's Grip, here comes the rotations. Dust's completely out of any mana, so no assistance in the refraction. Oh, Buyer's gonna give him some help, but just an instant use of the Nightmare, and let's just turn to kill off the Juggernaut. You know, that's a pretty valuable target as well. How did he get out of Nightmare? I don't know.
Did he use reflection on the TB? That's all I can think of.
Yeah, actually, maybe. And regardless, that's still a very big kill to pick up on the Jug, who continue to fall very far behind in net worth. They're not done, man. Like, Ori's still looking to jump.
And they do have the value point to the Enfeeble. Very nicely done, DY. Secured his lane with the 2 points in the Brain Sap. The Nightmare, such a strong ability. Of course, for the increased cast range, you want to be able to prevent people from getting burst down with the Omni Slash, with the TA melt.
Ori. Man, what a player. Just... that dissimulate time before the Static Storm is so on point. Another pick off on Pangolier, 5 deaths here, and it's, I mean, 8,000 net worth lead. The issue is now, like, both Jug and TA are sharing the triangle, and this is not what you want from your heroes. Like, you have a very greedy 1-2 duo where they both want this area of farm, and you can't share it, unfortunately, and you see one person is having a very heavy hit in the net worth due to that.
A little bit of a different itemization choice from Old 11 as well. He's gone into the Atos instead. I really like it because it's, again, with this lineup with a TB that just kind of wants to stand there and fight, you know? So anytime someone's locked in place, notably like, see you later, Disruptor, it seems like. Decent back wall, though.
And we'll see what TZY can help out with afterwards, but they need the extra numbers of Radiant, and they're not going to get that fast enough, as they'll find the kill on Bane. It's going to cost them 2 heroes.
The Jukes!
Should be able to TP up, but this dude's got his dancing shoes on from Coddle.
Does Spirit Form really need to give an extra 20% movement speed?
That's a great question. Does it need to have a 30-second downtime and have the old Aghanims on it as well? That's a really good question that you know, if you got the answers for, I'm down for. Do you reckon chat is sick of us like harping on Coddle? I would really understand why, but man, no one is banning it still. Like,
it depends if chat is like just watches Dota or if they play it, because if they came up against this in their pubs, they would understand what we're talking about, and it's just been so successful in almost every single one of these Chinese tournament games that feels kind of like we need to keep talking about it, otherwise it's just not going to change. We see another Nightmare being pumped in here onto the Pango. We've got a response actually coming out though from MagMa as they're going to go in onto DY.
Vici, they're also looking to bring some of their numbers as well. They don't have Old 11, but it'll be a kill down on DY, so Dust hitting the board there. Just with the Desolator completed, they might look for another pick off or just a blind smoke and leading into Roche to try and take this. Dissimulate still available, so an easy dodge. Another round of the Astral Step as well, but they're continuing to hunt. Yon, very deep chase here.
Old 11's
got Dissimulate back up and available, and yep, okay. Well, now look at the heavy commitment, and Vici looking to punish with the Omni Slash. It's gonna get tanked off to the backline here, so Pain goes down. It's a decent wall as well. They found the Terrorblade illusion. Can he tank through the Static Storm duration into the Sunder? And Poyo just finds it in the nick of time. With 2 heroes down, they're going to try and Delta split and TP out, and one will be successful. Looks like the rest will also.
Alright, well, they were able to chase down Ori at least, so that's a little bit of a win, but it's just more farm being funneled into this Terrorblade. Like, you worry about the effectiveness of the TA at the 20-minute mark of this game, but for a TB to be 3,000 net worth ahead,
do you reckon the support
Rolling Thunder was used for that previous kill, so I don't think you're going to be saving Dust
There's
up here.
no way these what? These 2 supports solo killed the TA.
I think he even used Solar Bind there, by the way. Could have been more damage.
Sure. Oh, come on, PYW. We thought you were better. Gotta use all your abilities to the fullest.
Radiant's middle tower
Is this Aghanims completed, actually?
On
Dude, he's got 3 components.
Yeah, 3 components, and he's got the Ghost Scepter, which he's going to be used to, of course, tank up any kind of TA hits, but the Omni Slash as well. Just get that bouncing in onto the Ghost Scepter. Have a check out what DY's going as well. Just a BKB, casual Bane,
Dope.
position 5 BKB.
Very
Who
cool.
needs a Glimmer Cape? Who needs a 4-star?
Okay, so it feels like we've got to do the mandatory, how to MagMa come back in this game. So if there's any avenues that you see, I'm all ears.
You somehow catch out and stun up the TB before he's not even building into the BKB, he's going into the Satanic, and chain lock him down with the use of the vacuum wall. You also are going to need the normal punch and the blink dagger on TZY to make that happen, and then just get a full combo onto it. It's a lot.
They're targeting Bane at the moment. That's a great way to start. Vici's a little bit split, as Old 11's even going to get vacuum on the higher ground if they got the physical damage to go through.
Oh, the miss.
Unfortunately, thanks to the miss from PYW, he's out to safety.
He missed the meld hit. Like, it's one of those things that actually does pierce the spell immunity, so that could have gotten the kill. It would have been nice value, you know, burning the BKB charge and getting the kill still, but well, not meant to be. Poyoyo continuing to farm, nearly hitting onto his level 18 now. Yeah, it just needs to be more farm being given over to this Darkseer. He needs the Blink Dagger, he needs the Aghanim Shard, he needs probably level 15 with the Vacuum AoE. And then maybe they can get a full team fight that goes their way. They can use that to convert into Roche, but I feel like Vici are going to look for a pick-off and then take Roche for themselves.
And you were saying it's going to be very important for them to burst down Terrorblade, as we'll see if that is able to be the option here from MagMa. There's a smoke up. Old 11 leading the charge for Vici, and well, they're going to go the opposite direction on MagMa, however.
Oh.
TA.
Also BKB doesn't have it yet, actually.
They're trying to collapse over. Able to bring him down, though. And looking to be a clean Roche now with the Metamorphosis utilized here from Poyoyo. Radiant, they do scout this out. I mean, if they're ever going to take a fight around a tight vicinity,
TA,
yeah, it feels like you might be lacking damage, and Ori's positioning as well. They do see him. Static Storm shot. Maybe this time he's been so ever pesky, but DY is going to offer him some extra protection. It's not enough, however, with the Nightmare, but the big issue is yes, you get the kill, but what's it going to cost you, however, with the Darkseer unable to retreat back to safety, even though it's a great combination. Vici Gaming still hit home.
It's a long cooldown, though. I mean, I don't think that was the smart play at all. Like, it's all well and good to be able to say, hey, I did my job. I hit 3 heroes with my back wall, but now you died. You were saving up a lot of money for your Blink Dagger. All of that was taken out of you because he was holding on to a lot of unreliable gold. This is time where he could have been spent farming. Like, you know they're going to take the Roche. You dropping a wall there isn't going to change anything. So I feel like... you know, if he maybe prioritized pushing into that mid tower, considering they'd taken down Ori, they could have tried to get something. If he dies again...
They got Rupture? That's still on cooldown. Yeah. I was a bit worried for a second, but at least this gives him some time to get towards the BKB. Who have they caught down bot? Ori, it's the Juggernaut, man. It's another clutch pickup. And they might even find Kaz too. They have a cancel if DY can get in range. They don't even need it. An ATOS answer from Old 11, so it's another pickoff across the map.
Did not expect for game 2 to go worse for MagMa than game number 1. I thought they'd addressed a few of the issues there. TB just got way too much farm. I think it comes down to that this time around. You know, I was going on about how DY is the greatest thing since sliced bread in game number 1. Poyoyo, how he managed to be able to, as this TB with a long Metamorphosis cooldown, dodge out a lot of the damage that they were dishing in onto him with 2 melees, especially ones as tanky and elusive as a Darkseer and a Pangolier, is kinda beyond me. He hasn't died yet. 8-0.
It just looks like Vici really have MagMa's number. I mean, it showed in the group stages with their previous 2-0. And it's looking to be a similar case as well. I mean, they're going to have to hope for a miraculous high ground defense. It's all off the back of their team fight. Maybe a blink on Darkseer can enable this. You know, Rolling Thunder, Static Storm. Have to hope you don't knock them out of the kinetic field. But there's... I mean, really anything can happen if the enemy team gets too cocky in a way where, you know, we're 17k gold up. Let's just walk up high ground. Who cares? We're filling ourselves. Let's get this one over and done with. Let's go eat some food. And maybe MagMa, this is where they can kind of pounce on the laziness that Vici might come through. But it's, again, you also have to bring up that this is a TI team, and they're not going to make those easy mistakes as some of the other teams might.
Oh, PYW is just running around at 500 movement speed with a Ghost Scepter.
Dope. Cool.
Just looking to wait for the Blood Rite on the high ground. Nope, dropping the gem instead. Oh, nice little back wall there by TZY.
Well, Autolimit's going to try BKB TP out once again, and they just glimpse drag. No, dude, that's the luck. That is literally the embodiment of this game. The Jug is the one to go up there. Find the Void Spirit. Meanwhile, Ori just suffocating the backline as Kaz. He'll drop the Static Storm, but there's no follow-up. Dude.
I think they would have called it right there if they got the Fiend's Grip as well while he was TPing
If
away.
Jug died, legit, if Jug died there, I was... Dude.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
That's so funny. Alright, well...
And with that, PYW has overtaken the Juggernaut's net worth. The position 4.
Ah, yes. Another time where the Keeper of the Light... Once again, jump in, but Darkseid just eats the taunt. And he's already used the wall previously. And there's no escape for the Juggernaut as well. Just another incredible draw from Vici Gaming as they end up taking a incredibly convincing as well 2-0 victory.
Vici Gaming.
Dominant. That's all I have to say. Dominant performance, great spell casting, particularly from Old 11. Poyoyo getting much more farm than I expected. TA not taking advantage of the fact that Ori was out of lane for a good amount of time, probably 2 minutes in the first 10 or so of the game. And yeah, paying for it. I mean, you weren't able to take the tier 1 mid tower. Coddle, again, able to build up a good amount of farm for himself. Just everything went right for Vici Gaming, and unfortunately for MagMa, they're going to drop down to the lower bracket. I don't believe we know their opponent yet, because that's going to come from tomorrow's games, which is now set up to be a pretty solid lineup. I mean, Team Asta versus Invictus Gaming, and then RNG against Vici. Pretty exciting.
Solid, you reckon? I don't know. That's... I mean, we get to watch 3 TI teams and arguably RNG as well. I mean, they're looking pretty good.
There's a reason they qualified for the upper bracket in round 2. Yeah,
perfectly said. There is a huge reason why, and I mean, the stage is set for an incredible double series tomorrow. We got RNG versus Vici to kick things off, and Asta versus IG to follow up as well. But continuing on with this game before we do say goodnight, do you feel like MagMa are a little bit like stuck in their ways with this Pango? Because
yes.
Yeah, so like it just feels like they are drafting themselves into a heavy corner with going for the Pango, which this is the only day we've seen them really try and flex the Pangolier, and it's instantly getting answered, and you're letting through some of these like Keeper of the Lights and the leaners in a lot of the games, and sticking with the Pango feels like it's just. I want to see them adapt.
It's one-dimensional. It's one-dimensional. Yeah. And it's not just the fact that... I think you said it perfectly, right? It's what you're letting the other team have because you're not picking it, as well as the fact that you're picking it at a stage where it's very easily counterable, right? Like, I think it got... it had... I want to say at least 20 deaths over those 2 games, with about a total of 10 kill involvement. And that's including assists, where he only actually got 1 kill for himself. Sure, as a position 4, you might be expecting that, but I think it's one of these things that you want to have in your back pocket. You want an enemy team to be the ones to ban out the Pango against you, because if they're banning it out in the second phase, then you can be like, all right, well, that'll allow us to pick something else, be something, try and find someone, get a little bit of a janky pick that comes through. Maybe it means that the Mars gets let through. Maybe it means that the Darkseer gets let through. I thought TZY still did okay on it for the majority part. A few questionable decision makings towards the end, but yeah, you can't first phase this unless it's that 8th pick, that pick that's at the end of the first phase. Then it's a possibility, and then the fact that you're proficient with it might even force people to use the first phase ban on it as well. So big drafting mistakes for mine. The fact that they didn't rectify it between game 1 and game 2 is not good, but they've still got another chance. They're not out of the tournament altogether, but man, all the teams left in this this playoff stage are unforgiving. Let's call it that.
Oh, yeah, that's quite the way to put it. And yeah, like you said, MagMa, they still have an opportunity here. They're going to have to make quite the run through the lower bracket where Elephant are also going to be as well, considering they were the other team that lost earlier in the day. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, our first day is done and dusted here of the Imba TV I-League Season 2 playoffs. Tomorrow, we've got 2 incredible upper bracket round 2 series. You do not want to miss it. Vici versus RNG, and then Team Asta versus IG. See you guys all tomorrow.